I'm Tina McElroy, Ansa, and welcome to Two Old Chicks Who Know a Lot of Shit. We are on our fourth episode, Wanda. This is Wanda, as you all know, Wanda Smalls Lloyd, who is my co-host and friend of 50 years.
Hey, Tina, number 4. We are rolling, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, my goodness.
It's exciting. We this is new to me, especially, and for us to be producing this and to hear all the wonderful things that you're saying in response really makes us happy.
We're getting really good response on social media, so we're really happy about that.
Especially about our wisdoms.
I know, right? Yeah.
Who knew?
I know. It makes me have to work harder to think of, make sure we're giving them some quality wisdom.
We have really been, we sure did. We had a conversation. Wanda said, "Oh, they really like the wisdoms. We're going to have to think harder on both."
Yeah.
That's where we are. And in this episode, we're happy to bring you a number of topics. We're going to be talking about the value of sustaining friendships, which Wanda and I certainly know something about. But first, Wanda, are you ready to do your check-in?
I sure am, Tina. I'm ready for us to share some of Wanda's calendar and Tina's post-it for this episode. So, as many of you know, this segment's a way for us to highlight some personal things and some things about the work we're doing in our seasoned years.
Well, Wanda knows I don't care for that adjective, seasoned years.
Yeah, Tina, but
No, I always see a couple of skinless chicken breasts being, trying to make some trying to put some fat seasoning on it, or something. I don't like it. Please, let's stay away from seasoning.
Yeah, well, Tina, you said you didn't like it, and then the other day I heard you using the word season 2 or 3 times in a conversation. So we'll just see how that goes.
Okay, as you can see, my 50-year friend knows me much too well.
Yeah. So what's on one of your post-its this time, Tina?
Well, as you know, all of our work is near and dear to our heart. So this is a post-it that is near and dear to my heart.
Okay, I'm not sure what you're thinking about, but I know we have a lot of passion. So a lot of things may be near and dear. So what's this one?
Okay. Well, Wanda, I put this post-it up to remind me to check in on myself and to check in on my friends to see how they're faring mentally. We've been through a really rough couple of years, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. So I thought that this was a timely and important note, because this note reminds me of my friend and sister writer, B.B. Moore Campbell. Most of you know her as the award-winning, fine New York Times best-selling author of books like Brothers and Sisters, Your Blues Ain't Like Mine, which she won the NAACP Image Award and beat me out for it. I was sitting behind her, Wanda, and she had on this red, long, strapless lame dress. And I was kind of dressy, but I did look at her. I said, damn, she shouldn't get, dressy for this. And honey, she went up and she knew she was going up on that stage. She beat me out that year for Ugly Way. I had ugly ways, and she had Your Blues Ain't Like.
So she beat you out in writing and in fashion.
She did. She looked spectacular. And so I leaned over and said to her husband, well, I guess we knew who she was going to win tonight, huh? And he just laughed, because clearly that probably had been the conversation in the car. But it reminds me of her, and most of you know her as that writer. You know her through her work and through her books. But, she was more than that. She was also really a valiant and outspoken warrior in the arena of mental health. She was concerned and did the work around mental health for African Americans. This month, the reason that I think about BB, she passed in November of 2006. She put up a valiant fight against cancer. But during that time, before she was very, very sick, she put all her efforts into pushing forth a National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
So is that what your post-it is about, that this is
This
National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month?
is indeed
Oh,
July. Well, what she did is she worked very hard with an organization called NAMI, and it's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. As a
I'm
matter of
familiar with them.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
she founded the urban Los Angeles chapter of it, and through that she did a lot of work. She was just outspoken about the need for African American people, especially, to get checked out. Um, so she died. She passed in November of 2006, and the fight went on that she had started. And so in 2008. July was named the Bebe Moore Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. She showed us, you talk about chicks who can do something. She showed us, really what was possible. So I'm checking in on myself and on all of us around me to see, how we're doing. Because Bebe said something that really wrote something that really touched my heart about mental illness. And she said, don't wait, get treatment. Better times and recovery are possible. Better times and recovery are possible. And I think so often this note really may be mostly for our generation.
Yeah.
A season. Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, there you go.
All righty, I'm sorry. A seasoned chicks, because I think, I don't know if this has been your experience, but younger people seem to be more in tune with, checking themselves out. Somebody was just telling us earlier, that all her friends say, "Ooh, I need to go see my therapist." And I think that it's a generational divide.
Well, I know it is, Tina, because as I recall growing up in Savannah, a lot of the older folk, well, they weren't older at the time, but a lot of the folks that I grew up around, adults, you had quite a few people who were not, you could tell something was wrong with them. Either they had a mental illness, or they had a lot of anxiety, and people would just say, "Oh, that's Uncle Pookie, he's crazy," and nobody even thought about getting Uncle Pookie some kind of help.
And to say nothing of the people who were quietly, needing mental health, right. The ones who weren't, acting out like Uncle Pookie, in your own families. I don't think there's any family that doesn't have, some kind of a mental illness, whether it's, strong, or whether it's, just something that doesn't really affect their lives and the people around them, but it's affecting them. So I keep in mind, I have to keep in mind to check in with not only my friends like you, but also, myself. Am I okay? I've been reaching out, when did I have some self-care lately? Do I need to talk to somebody? Now that's the biggest one. People who are listening, if you need to talk to somebody, reach out. If you think that, that something's not right, say something. If there's somebody in your family, reach out to them with love and compassion, and say what Bebe said. Don't wait, get treatment. Recovery is possible.
That's powerful. Let's say that one more time. I want to hear it one more time.
Don't wait, get treatment. Better times and recovery are possible.
Great. Yeah. That's amazing. That's really good. That's really good.
Here's to you, Bebe Moore Campbell. Angel Bebe is what her family calls her, Angel Bebe, and that's what she is. She's continuing to bless us by reminding us to what? Don't wait, get treatment.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Wanda, as we all know by now, you are serious about your Google Calendar, and it's sort of. I think I need to ask you: do you change it? Is it engraved in stone when you put it in there, or?
Oh no, that's the beauty of a Google Calendar. I can change it all day, every day if I want to. I can add things to it. I can put notes in there. I can put my grocery list in there, or I can put that I'm going to the doctor, and I can put the list of what I'm asking the doctor, what I may want to ask the doctor about. So, the Google Calendar is always, it's a work in progress all the time. And so, I love that.
So tell us what you,
and plus, let me just say this: I don't like dealing with paper anymore. So I often walk into a place and I may just have, my keys in one pocket and my phone in the other pocket, so I don't have to deal with paper. I don't have to carry a book. So anyway, this time,
and what do I have in my pocket, Wanda?
you have paper.
Post-its.
Post-its, yeah.
Well, tell us what's on your.
Well, this time I've got a bonus because this is my birthday month. Mm-hmm. And to celebrate, I drove down from Savannah to St. Simon's Island to meet you for lunch. It was so good. We had so much fun.
We had so much fun. We had a wonderful meal together. Mm-hmm. And we saw some places I wanted to see, but mostly we just sat and talked.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was just so much out of the routine for us. Mm-hmm. That it just gave us something to look forward to, and
on a Monday, yes,
yeah, it was good. So that's one thing. But also on my calendar is something else that you and I are doing together. We've been fortunate enough to be selected to present our book, Meeting at the Table: African American Women Write on Race, Culture, and Community, for the National Association of Black Journals annual conference, which will be next month. So the reason it's on my calendar, there's the book cover. She's holding it up for those of you on YouTube. So the reason it's on my calendar this month is that we're actually going to record part of the conversation this month, and then we'll be live during the National Association of Black Journalists to take questions from the audience. And so I'm just really excited that we're getting ready that we can present this book. And just let a lot more people understand why we did Meeting at the Table last year.
Well, speaking of doing Meeting at the Table last year, mm-hmm. I think it's your second year in a row. Is that at the NABJ?
Yeah, last year in August, I was able to present my memoir, Coming Full Circle from Jim Crow to Journalism. So you're right, it's 2 years in a row. So as we go through the process, I'm familiar with the process because last year was the first ever, of course, virtual conference, like a lot of organizations. Yeah. And so this is year 2 for the virtual conference. I think we'll be back together again next year. That's not official. That's just me making that assumption. But I did Coming Full Circle last year. So
as I always say about my friend Wanda, who writes 2 books in 1 year during a pandemic? But obviously Wanda does. Hey, obviously an old chick does that.
Yeah. This old chick is doing it 2 years in a row.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, again, congratulations to us and congratulations to you especially.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
So we are presenting our a session, a conversation that we call "Where Have You Been?" Sustaining Relationships. Girl, where have you been? Have you ever, Tina, had a friend that you didn't talk to for like 2, 3, 4 years, and then you get on the phone, you go, "Girl, where have you been?
Where have you been?" That's where I always say, like, where have you been?
I think we have done that because, there have been periods in our lives where life got busy and we didn't even talk for 2 or 3 years. And then all of a sudden, when you have those conversations, you literally, it's almost like you picked up yesterday.
It does feel that way, but you have 2 years worth of stuff to talk about.
You do have a long conversation, but it's
so wonderful.
We're still as close, we, not just you and me, but as friends, we still have that friendship. That bond is still there, and so we can just start talking in the same way we might have talked 2 years ago or 20 years ago.
Pick up the conversation, right where we left off. Especially among, I think, women of color, there is that bonding, that sisterhood, and listeners, speak up. Let us hear from you if you don't agree with that. But I think that there is that certain because we were made outsiders, for a while, and so there's sense
we needed each other.
Yeah. So that sisterhood, that friendship, everybody can pick up, the conversation 2 or 3 years ago with somebody that they're really close to. And I also think that it's it's just so vital. We're talking about mental health earlier. It's so vital for my. Oh, Wanda, you are totally my mental health girl. Oh my goodness, if I didn't have my Wanda, okay. So I understand.
Well,
that.
we've been through a lot in the last year and a half, so I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tina, I'm in a relationship that like that now. With some people that I had lost touch with over the years, and now we're getting back together. In fact, I'm in the process of writing an article about my friendship with a group called the Buttercups. And I know you laugh every time I say that term.
Oh, I love the Buttercups. Can't you just imagine? Y'all were young teenagers, but I always see them as little girls, sitting there doing their little.
Well, we were little girls. We were little girls, and that's really what I want to talk about. This is a group of girls that I have known since grade school. Some of them I've known from fourth grade, some of them from sixth grade, all the way to sixth grade. So,
oh yeah, you were little.
We were little, and I've known one. Her name is Virginia, from sixth grade through college. In fact, we were roommates the last semester of our senior year at Spelman, and so we've been, and even with Virginia, as long as I've known her, we lost track for a number of years, and then we came back together. So,
I was just going to say, Virginia is sort of my sister girl friend from you. She was a Spelman grad, just like we are, Spelman sisters. And I sort of, I asked about her, sort of, I think we adopt each other's sister friends.
Yeah. She asked about you all the time. So we're going to get together. We had some plans to get together. They haven't quite come to fruition yet, but it's not going to be long. We're going to all get together. So as part of this piece I'm writing, I really am writing this piece, and I don't know yet where it's going to be published. It's not a book, it's just an article. So I'm going to be sending it around to magazines in case anybody's listening. I got a good piece. But I wanted to share a little bit of what I have written about the Buttercups. So
excuse me, I know am I unmuted? I know I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry, but I know some stuff that I know that the audience wants to know. Can you just tell us a little bit about saying I have this piece that I'm writing? I don't know where it's going or what. How does one do that? How does one? Especially if you want it to be like an op-ed piece.
Yeah. Well, different pieces are written in different ways. I think I'm imagining this one as a magazine piece. If I was writing an op-ed, this one is longer than an op-ed piece. The op-ed, for those who don't know, is an opinion piece that might be in a newspaper or on a news website. And so that's what we call op-ed. It's short for opposite the editorial page, which, the whole notion of editorial pages is expanded now because we have digital. So an opinion piece would be limited to maybe 600 to 800 words, maybe a little more, say the New York Times, but for traditionally
750 is what they almost.
Yeah.
Give me 750 words.
So I started writing this for a book, an anthology, and I had in mind that this would get published in a group of essays with other women. A friend of mine is helping to produce a book, and that's someone, not Tina, but another friend. And so I started writing it for the book. Then I went over the length because I had so much to say. And also I just thought it was a story that would resonate with people who may not read the book. I'll just put it that way. And so I'm starting to think this is really a magazine piece. So this is a magazine piece. And, I haven't done a lot. I've done some, but not a lot of magazine pieces. I've edited magazines, but I haven't written a lot.
I was just going to say you've edited more than
I have.
Yeah, me too. In journalism.
Yeah, in journalism. But a magazine piece gives you a lot more creativity. A lot more background, a lot more space to put context. So if I'm writing a story, a piece about friendship, I want to define friendship for the reader. I want to define myself as a friend. And so that's really, I think that puts in context what the piece that I've written for what I hope will be published in a magazine at some point.
I always think of a magazine piece, Wanda, as one that you want to kind of settle down with. And you don't want to read it quick. You might save it for the Sunday. You might save it for later on when you really have time to go into it.
Right. Yeah. So, and then and it's also a piece that I hope readers can identify with. So we're going to talk about that on the other side. Okay. So,
but I'd love to hear. You're going to share some.
I'm going to share just a couple of little paragraphs. So here we go. The Buttercups was a club of African-American girls organized during the era of Jim Crow laws in our grade school years in Savannah. The mother of a new girl in our 6th grade class reached out to a few parents to ask permission for us to create a club. The mission: to encourage us to retain our good grades in school and to build friendships to help us develop as girlfriends who would become respectable and responsible young ladies with positive social skills and good relationship values. The Buttercups were close friends all the way through high school, even though a couple in our group peeled away during the mid-60s period of school desegregation when they transferred in 10th grade to the formerly all-white Savannah High School, leaving the rest of us at our all-black high school. So that's the piece that I pulled from the story. So my wisdom this time is about the importance of staying in touch with friends or finding old friends and renewing those bonds. I share this wisdom because I hope younger women, well, let me just first say that the Buttercups lost touch. And then after we retired and most of us moved back to the Savannah area, a couple stayed in Savannah all that time, we got back together. And so we decided that we were going to still call ourselves the Buttercups, and we still get together. And we were getting together before the pandemic, and we were having lunch occasionally. Now we're doing Zooming. We have had one session since this, in a few weeks ago, we did get back together at a restaurant. And we text all the time. We've been texting like crazy today.
Have you?
We support each other. We share birthday cards. We just, we talk about, we talk about our health. We talk about our family. We talk about friends that we've lost. We talk about friends that are just missing. We know they're out there somewhere. We just don't know where they are. Yeah. We talk about our memory of some of the other Buttercups. But, it's just good to have a group of friends that you've been with a long time. You have something in common. We have in common school. We have in common Savannah. We have age in common. We have being African American in common. I mean, so many things we have in common.
Yeah. Well, that's. I was just thinking about number one, how I love the Buttercups and the fact that the Buttercups are together again.
Yeah.
That is, but really, when you think about how wonderful that is, that y'all were able to sustain those relationships. Some individually, you and Virginia and some others, but you come back and at our season age, and to be able to bring back all the things, back to the table the things that you have sort of collected, otherwise. I think about sustaining our friendships. I think it's not in terms of not only mental health. I'm thinking of it in terms of self-care, of really caring about yourself. Number one, caring about yourself enough to reach out to people who made you happy, share experiences with you, who can give you. We were talking about mentors today earlier. Who can be your mentor. We at our age, there are not a lot of people older than us that we would turn to, but so we turn to our friends. We turn to our peers.
Well, we have ways of mentoring each other even in the same age, because one of our Buttercups lost her husband, but she cared for him a very long time, and he passed away. And I'm also a caregiver, and so I can rely on her sometimes for just the notion of caregiving. We went through it for so long. So we are mentors to each other.
You and I do the same thing. We have been. I've been a caregiver. You're a caregiver now, and we're able to. We have so much in common. We're able to have that shared experience.
Right.
And
That's right.
to have someone who, not only that known for a long time, but people that you maybe have just met, and in the last year and a half, we've been so busy, we haven't reached out to people. We,
Yeah.
we haven't started forming those long-term relationships.
Right. We haven't formed any new relationships for sure. But I tell you, I have reached out to a lot of people that I hadn't been in touch with for a long time because all we had was the telephone and Zooming. And so I have talked to quite a few people that were way, way, way in my past. And I don't know. That's just part of what I've been doing to kind of sustain myself over these months when we weren't going out a whole lot.
You and I have been talking about just this. We've had a number of conversations about sustaining friendships for a while, and having friends and doing it. And we were talking over lunch yesterday. I love to say that we were talking over lunch yesterday, Wanda, and we were talking about reaching out and actually sustaining relationships, and who you reached out to, and how long it's been since you made a new friend. And I realized, wait a minute, I don't mean to plug I do mean to plug the meeting at the table, but I knew you. So the 14 women in this book, I got to know so well by editing them. We talked in earlier shows about how we would, Zoom for hours and Zoom with our contributors and our essays. And I feel very blessed because I did indeed. I gained 15 new girlfriends.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
New girlfriends who trusted us enough. We know that they trust us. They trusted us enough with their words and with their good names.
That's right. That is true.
So, so sustaining relationships is not only about, the older ones, but reaching out and making new ones. It's never too late to start a friendship.
That's right. So I wanted to share this wisdom with our audience because I hope younger women out there and a few of the older chicks will get it. Nurture your relationships. Stay in touch. Support each other. Laugh together. And yes, cry together. While I'm sure there will be some losses, some mourning together, some failures, always celebrate each other's happiness and celebrate successes. And I challenge you before this week is out to find someone from your past, like I've done during the pandemic. Call her and renew that friendship. There's nothing like humbleness of being friends with somebody you've known for practically all your life.
Wow. Absolutely, Wanda. I'm sitting here thinking about, I know exactly who I'm going to call. I know exactly who I'm going to reach out to, somebody who's been kind and good to me very much in the past. And we just sort of drifted apart. And, we can't afford to we can't afford to drift apart. We need each other now more than we ever have.
Right.
We ever have.
Okay.
Very good. Okay. Well, that's good. That was a good one.
Well, we have lived long enough, Tina, to know a lot of stuff. So we love this last segment. We call it dropping some wisdom. So Tina, you go first. What's your wisdom this time?
Okay. My wisdom is the squeaky wheel. I know that is something, a term that people may have heard over and over again. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. The squeaky wheel, meaning gets the attention, the one who speaks up getting attention. Well, this past month, Wanda and I discovered a need that we had for a number of wide-ranging projects. And we're doing a lot of things. We're still promoting Wanda's memoir, Coming Full Circle. We're still promoting our book and selling our book, and we're reviewing books and writing. And I'm always writing my 6th novel. And Wanda continues her community work and all the rest. So I suggested a while back for something that had come up in all the things that we do. I'm still publishing and Wanda's still speaking on diversity and a number of things. I said, we really need something. And I said, this group has been really good to us. And I don't even think we should go back again. I think, it might seem like, we didn't appreciate the first part, or, I hesitated about it at first.
So Tina, this, without saying who it is, this is an organization that helped us when we published Meeting at the Table. And we were thinking that whatever this need is that we have for the podcast, we were hesitant about going back to the same group.
Yeah.
But we did.
We did indeed.
Yeah.
And I mean, they responded immediately with not just responded, they responded enthusiastically. And it was a real lesson for me. I remember I'm writing a book called The Secrets of a Bogart Queen. And the first lesson of The Secrets of a Bogart Queen is ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Speak up. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. It is a tired, adage, ask for what you want, but it's still true. Indeed, it's one of the ones that really will help us, because it's the one who speaks up who gets what she wants. Don't think folks can read your mind. If you want that position, go after it. Don't think hard alone, by yourself. Just thinking about it isn't going to do it. There are times that you have to speak for yourself. There are times that you have to speak up, but usually, squeak, you just have to say something. Let your supervisors know what your next dream step is. Not their jobs, certainly, don't say that, but certainly, their level of work, their level in the company, or their level in what they're doing in their dream, their level in their business, their small business that they have, or even the level that they have in their, in their households. Ask for what you want. Let your superiors know what your dream job is. Let you know what your, ask them what the next step is. Ask them how they got where they are and what they should be paying, what, you should be paying attention to, and what's their advice. Their response will also give you an indication of whether they support you or not in that place. Squeak. I know women who have never been satisfied in their marriage and have kept silent in bed for years about what they really want and didn't want, sexually, intimately, privately, never spoke up, never got squeak, for God's sake, squeak. I know this brief chat about squeaking and speaking up is, it's not going to change any entrenched minds. But I really hope that you hear squeak in your mind this week. I hope you have it embedded in your brain and you don't ever let an opportunity pass by. Speak up. Speak, squeak, be the squeaky wheel. So that's my wisdom, Wanda. What about you?
Well, wait a minute. I have to agree about asking for what you want at work. That's my experience. I tell young people all the time, you never know what opportunities there are. Your boss knows. They may know that somebody is leaving. They may even have someone they want to promote or move to a new position, and they're not moving that person because they don't think they have anybody who would take that position that they would be leaving. And you just never know what's on the horizon. So you are absolutely right. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Ask for what you want. I can think of many examples of where I have spoken up, including one time I asked my boss to go to lunch, and on the way back, we were walking from the restaurant back to the newspaper, and I just told him I want a promotion and a raise. And guess what? Before we walked in the front door, I had it. I had both.
Ask for what you want.
That's right.
Squeaky wheel. I think we all probably have examples of that. Examples of that in our lives.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that was exciting. Thank you. Thank you for pumping me up and agreeing with that one. I always like. All right. Well, what's your wisdom for the dropping some wisdom? Drop us some wisdom.
I don't have a fancy title like Squeak, but mine is about vision. Vision. So, there are so many kinds of vision that young people are familiar with now. Young people are doing vision boards. My daughter was surprised that I had actually even done a vision board. Young people put their vision on, Pinterest. They make their little boards and that's their vision. Whether it's work or fashion or having a baby or whatever their vision is. Instagram is sort of a vision board. Sometimes people put their hopes and dreams on there, and then you see these people who have these affirmations, on Facebook all the time. So people are looking at vision all the time. So I want you to.
I'm a big proponent of affirmations.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And some people have even written books with affirmations.
absolutely, I'm with
Yeah.
this one.
So my advice is to be thoughtful, be intentional about vision. I'm going to step into the Bible for a second. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So many years ago, I took on a responsibility that I was totally unprepared for. I must have been in my 40s, and I was still relatively young. I was still growing. I was still learning how to be a leader. I was elected to this leadership position for a small national organization, and someone in the organization asked me, "What's your vision for this organization?" And at that time, I had no idea that I even needed to have a vision. And I'm not sure I don't even know if I knew what the word vision really meant back then. And then over time, I started hearing this Bible verse in different walks of my life: where there is no vision, the people perish. In fact, in the church where we were members at the time, the pastor had this verse printed on a big banner, and it hung over the pulpit for several years. He wanted everybody to understand that we had to have a vision. So every time I sat in church, I would look up, and it took me a while to figure out how to have a vision. But every Sunday I would see where there is no vision, the people perish. As time went on, I realized that vision takes time. Vision takes understanding, and vision is very thoughtful. Sometimes vision means reading or researching to learn about options, or it might mean talking to people to see what the people are thinking. And after that time, my colleague asked me about my vision in this new role I had. I was determined that I would never again not have an answer for a question about vision. Now that I know that vision means growth, vision means progress, vision means stretching myself and stretching others around me. That's part of leadership. Vision is part of leadership, helping others stretch and see their own vision. Vision doesn't just always pop into your head. Sometimes it comes in a conversation with someone. Sometimes when you're reading something, maybe even just, I don't know, sitting by the ocean or on the side of a mountain, your vision may come to you. So my wisdom for our audience is to figure out what your vision is for the many parts of your life, whether it be the vision for your family, vision for your work life, or vision for any leadership position you may be in. And that's my vision for the day, my wisdom for the day.
That is wonderful. That's your vision for the day. And you talk about vision. Gosh, we envisioned this podcast for maybe years, months, definitely months, maybe at least 2 years. Yeah, exactly. At least like 2 years. And we envisioned, we knew that we wanted, we knew that we had something. We would tell people about it, we let people know just in case they knew something. We announced it even at our alma mater on,
we did.
Remember that?
At our 50th class reunion.
We did it there. We put it out there, and just one day when everything was right, when all the planets aligned, our vision just came together.
That's right.
Through no effort of our own, through no going out there finding it, came right.
Yeah. But our vision had to also be, what is it? What does it look like? So when I say do research, for me, research was listening to other podcasts. I just thought that was important to understand, what does a podcast do? How do you build an audience? So that, you're right. We had a vision together.
Excuse me. And you're right. We built on it as well. As you said, we just thought of a podcast, and I didn't really know, kind of what you're more familiar with podcasts. So like you, I had to get familiar with it, as well. I had a little cough there. Familiar with it as well. And then I start talking to people, and you're right. The more that we put into our thought about our goal, our vision, the clearer it became, and the closer it got to us. Wonderful.
Yeah. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
Good wisdom.
Well, that's it for this 4th episode of Two Old Chicks.
Wow.
Thank you for listening. We hope you'll tell others about our podcast and join us again next time when we're going to talk about, oh my goodness, Tina, the importance of self-care.
Can't talk about it too much. Especially for Black women. I'm sorry. We can't talk about it too much. We'll make sure, thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe and share Two Old Chicks on Spotify and YouTube, so you never miss an episode. We're trying on YouTube, we're trying to get up to 100 plus. Help us do that. And in the meantime, listen and watch. Follow us also on Twitter and Instagram. I'd say that every week. You don't know, every time. Twitter and Instagram. Two Old Chicks Podcast. We'll see you soon. Take care. Love and peace.
Bye-bye, everybody. Love.